Lots went wrong. Adelaide played really well. They got on top of the game early and they made us pay with every opportunity they got.
Ken, there's some pretty disturbing notes, particularly in the ability of your players to take contested marks. So where did that break down, particularly with your forwards?
Oh no, they played I don't get lost in the emotion of winning and losing. I get lost in I believe in what happened, and I watched the game, and Adelaide's system in defence works really, really effectively, and we were poor at trying to challenge them. So there's not too much that you can do about that if you're going to kick it straight up in the air all the time and they get to zone off and do the play that they want to do. They got the game on their terms and they played the game on their terms, not just in our forward 50 or in the middle of the ground. They got it in all three parts of the ground today.
It's pretty simple, this little thought, but did you feel that your players never had space, never had time, never had the ability to actually work out what they could or couldn't do with the ball?
I thought we ignored space at times. I thought that's what we did. I thought we ignored the opportunity to take some space, and if you do that to a side that's doing a good job defensively and then offensively hurting you, well, it's going to be a hard game of football to play, and that's what we end up playing.
How did you deal with half-time, particularly when so many of your players had not even featured in the game? Virtually a third of the side didn't touch the ball.
But just be honest. You be honest about where you're at and what you're doing, and you never forget. You acknowledge what the opposition were doing. They were doing it really well. I'm sure Don, you would have just said him, would have been really pleased with the way they played most parts of the game. We were equally displeased with the way we played most parts of the game.
You talked about last year at moments like this, you would, as a group, get down on yourselves and get too deep on it. What's the approach from here?
No, we won't. We can't. You just can't afford to get down and get too deep. We're just talking in there as coaches, and you know what? We're going to believe in the group of players we've got. They're the ones that we're working really hard with, and you know what? We had a really poor day today. There's no hiding from that. We had a poor day, but we're going to come back and we'll bounce back, and we'll hopefully go back to training, and we'll review the game really hard first, and we'll look at the things that we got really wrong. Sometimes I reckon we're going to look at that and go, Adelaide just got it done too well for us, and we'll win a bit of. Well, we just got to improve in that area of the ground.
When you say poor day, is there anything you think comes out of this that's been there for a while?
No, I don't go looking for recipes for past and future. And I think a lot of people do, and you go, what did we get from last year? What did we learn from that? What didn't we learn? I think what we got today was a side that was in much better form than us on the day, and they made us pay, and we had some opportunities that we were really poor at executing, and they were just too strong over the whole ground.
The instant reaction will be that the game you're trying to play is not going to work.
Yeah, well, it looks like it today, doesn't it? That's fair enough. It's, again, we always say the opinions are what they are. They're opinions, and we respect those opinions. Our job as coaches and as a club is to make sure we review and figure out a way that we think is going to stand up and play strong AFL football. And we've had two games. We played okay with in the back half of the game, and today we never played well at any part of the game, I don't think.
Ken, they've got a lot of fast transition goals.
Yep.
Without three behind. It was a bit of a feature of St Kilda for 3 quarters
Yes.
last week. Is that a concern?
Yes, it is.
With the transition moving the ball?
Yeah, well, it's the fact that the concern is they've been able to get through us and they've been able to penetrate. And, we understand, everyone's talked about that. It has offence caught up to the defence a bit at the moment. And at the moment, you'd say with the way we play today that we've got to question ourselves on, are we aggressive enough with our defence, or are we a bit cautious? And if you become cautious, the results you get in the last 2 weeks is what we've got now. We've just got to make sure that we're coaching the right stuff and the players are delivering on the right stuff.
So is an attempt to really press and lock the ball in your half, you sort of maybe a bit half-hearted and not all embracing that 100%?
No, I think that's certainly intent. I think that would be the intent for most teams playing AFL football. But, parts of today we didn't get right, whether that was the contest in the front half, whether that was the outnumber at the fall of the ball, whether that was the quick and slick hands of Adelaide around the contest and, able to get out on us. There's a few things, not as simple as just one part.
Ken, in the first two games, the captain hasn't quite looked himself, or he's at his very best, and we know what he can do. Is he fully fit?
He's fine. There's absolutely nothing wrong with Travis. I had someone ask me in the rooms because we heard that there was going to be some speculation that Travis was unfit. He would be insulted by the fact that you thought his form was a result of being unfit. He wouldn't take the field. He's as fit as he needs to be, and he's as fit as he should be, and he's probably not just delivered at the levels that we're so used to. That happens. Again, we were cautious because the game was out of reach. He had some hamstring tightness, certainly not a hamstring. Chad wanted to go back on the ground. 10 goals down, you make a decision for the long term, for the rest of the season, and we did that.
Kenna, before this game, everyone thought big forwards Port Adelaide had on the team sheet would be really effective. So Dixon's the only one who gets 3 contested marks. Howard gets the only goal. Why such a poor return from it?
Oh no, I think we.
70 inside 50.
I think we acknowledge that the opposition defended us really well. Charlie is an elite defender, we know that, and he did a really strong job on Charlie. And Hoff didn't impact the game the way he would like to. And you've got a first gamer, he's never going to shouldn't probably have a massive influence in his first game, but he should get better with every opportunity. Some of our ground level stuff wasn't where it needed to be, and that was probably as damning as, because Adelaide were able to put pressure on us at ground level, and we didn't handle that as well. But once they got the ball back, they seemed more composed, and then they got through us.
How do you think Dougal handled the game? How do you think Dougal handled it?
I think it'd be, for Dukes, it'd be, it's first game, it's showdown, it's a bit, it's a big build-up, but people have done that in the past and delivered on those types of results. He would be better for the run, there's no doubt about that, and he would be better for handling that. How do you know how any first game is going to really handle it until they have their first game, and then it becomes no longer an issue, is it? Because the next one's his second game, it's much easier.
So what did you ask the players at the end? What were you looking for from them when you met with them at the very end?
Oh no, we spoke about the things that we got wrong, and there was a bit, clearly, there was a lot that we got wrong today, and we spoke about it, and we said, okay, well, we stick in it, and that's what we'll be really good at. I hope through the whole of the year is that we'll stick in the contest, and we'll continue to improve and work at it, because we're not going to have. I've said it before. We're not going to have a perfect week every week, and today was far, far, far from perfect. We know that it was a really poor day, and don't ignore the Adelaide Crows. I thought they were fantastic.
I think you were 10 goals down, 12 minutes second quarter. Is it too far to say you've been soft to that point, or was it just the Crows on fire?
First quarter they played really well. We missed some opportunities, and you need to stay in a game like that. And then the start of the second quarter, when you give the first 2 goals up from simple mistakes by your own team, well, then the momentum really gets going. And let's be honest, it's a showdown. They get a feel for what's going on. They get a bit of a sniff, and we get a bit nervous because of the pressure that they put us under. And that then probably made the game hard for the players. But you know what, we kept going. They were still too strong, but we just kept going. I mean, as you said, we had 70 entries or something. We kicked 80 odd points, but gee, we're a long way out of the game.
Ken, sorry, you said you and the coaching staff are backing the players in. Is it just a matter of fact that not enough players contributing at the moment?
Oh no, not today. If you use today as an example, the best players were on the Adelaide Crows side, and the worst players were on our side. When you're outnumbered by the best and worst players by a lot, you're going to end up with a result like we had today. We all understand the pressure of a showdown. We all understand what they can be like sometimes. Usually they're reasonably tight contests, but they also have a history of every now and then throwing up an outcome that's a bit more than what we expect.
Injury-wise, anyone else? Everyone else is fine?
I think everyone's fine. I think Chad was the only one we left off the ground in the last quarter.
Just Chad.
Yeah, if there was, I'll tell you.